Good evening everyone, welcome. Rachel here from Beads by Verchiel, bringing you part 2 of learning bead embroidery jewellery. So as always, whether you're with me live, whether you're able to watch on the replay, do give me a thumbs up please, and do pop me a note in the comments, particularly if you're joining me live, so that you can be entered in tonight's giveaway prize draw. So let's see who's in first in the house tonight. Sometimes it takes a little bit of time. I think June is first in the house, but Jackie's popped up first. Hello Jackie. And followed by June. I get these little photographs pop up right at the top of the feed. Hello Tracy, how are you all doing? Oh, hi Lydia. I hope you get well soon, Lydia. That is nothing worse than being in agony. Bless you. Hello Kim, good to have you all. So tonight I'm going to be showing you how to do the pendant, but what I'm going to do first of all is just show you some more samples. Now the bead embroidery kits, the big boxes have been really popular. I've still got a few of those left if anybody wants to buy one. They're all in the thread. Also, if you want to buy any of the mini kits, this is what I've got. Again, these have been selling too. Now you can make up to 6 projects with each of these, and you should have some leftover beads, but it just depends on whether or not you decide to use 2 of your cabochons for earrings. Look, I'm wearing the stud earrings with the cat's eye. I've got everything matching tonight, and the tree of life as well. Oh, excellent. Frances' big box came today and she loves it. Oh, that's so good to hear. Good that you're well, Tracy. Hello, Carol. Oh, she's in the Isle of Wight. Enjoy. Kim's suffering as well by the sounds of it, with a heat pad on your shoulder. Oh dear. Sending get well wishes to you too. Hello, Trisha. Hello, Janet. So in the mini kits, you don't have any instructions, because the idea is that you do them alongside these tutorials. So you've got enough in there, like I say, to make 6 projects. And it depends on, obviously you might use all your cabochons for one project, but you can stretch it out. So this is the green one. So you've got a porcelain oval cabochon with 2 lemony coloured cat's eye, 3 green. Then you've got your size 15 seed beads. You've got size 10 in yellow, silver and pearl. What you also get is a substantial size of beading foundation that you sew onto, the backing, the needle. You do get the needle. You get 5 meters of the thread, and you also get 1 meter of chain, a size 10 and a 12 needle, your findings for your chain, and 2 glue on little spoons for the bail. So you get this and this in all colours. And I've also got the purple. Again, you've got a purple porcelain one, purple cat's eye, grey, size 15s, size 10s in gunmetal, purple and silver, and the baby blues, baby pinks. You've got silver, turquoise, baby pink and the size 15s. So again, like I say, whichever colour combo you choose, you get it the right way up, your essentials with those as well, and your beading foundation. Now you will have bits left over, and I've got lots of cabochons in the thread at the moment as well. Lydia, was that it? The purple kit? No problem. You thought there was something, didn't you? Hi, Jane. Oh, you've had the grandchildren today. Bless you. Hello, Dot. Hello, Kevin. Hi, Nora. Hi, Sharon. You like those kits. I'm really pleased that you like those. Now, I will just show you as well. So this is one of the Tree of Life cabs that's in the thread as well. Now, Patrick, at long last, we have Patrick is now available. So he's in the purple. So kits are only available here in the group at the moment. Obviously, there's still Percy as well, the blue one. And I've just got a few other bits to show you as well. So the cat's eye, that's one of the cat's eyes. Now, next week, I don't think I've put them up yet. We'll be having some hematite ones. I know some of you got these in your free kit last week with the offer that I had. So there's lots and lots of things. So tonight, what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you the pendant, which when put together, you can make a bracelet with it as well. But we're just going to concentrate on the pendant for tonight. Now, these were the earrings that I made last week. The flat backs are also available to buy in the thread as well. Haven't done that one yet, but I did finish it. Probably more my colour than the red. So here we go. I thought I'd show you from scratch in the sense of even the gluing, because sometimes, you know, I know when I'm doing following tutorials myself, I think, oh, well, sometimes it's the simpler things that you're not shown that you want to be shown. So if that if there's anything that you want me to show you that I've missed, do let me know. Oh, you'd like a purple peacock as well? That is no problem at all, Lydia. Just ping me a message when you're feeling up to it, and we can organise all of that for you so it all comes out together. Right, so great tip from Janet last week is, I haven't done it yet, do you know, it probably won't even come off, is Vaseline on the top of your E6000, makes it easier for the lid to come off. So let's just zoom in. Now, what I'd say is you can really be quite sparing with your base foundation. You don't really need to cut that much because, you know, you want to keep it for as many projects as possible. And what I'd suggest you do as well is that you actually curve the edges. Again, another tip from our Janet. Right, let's zoom in. So I'm working on cat's eye cabochons, but I think we'll mix it up a bit in week 3 and 4 and perhaps look at different shape cabochons as well. So anyway, I apologise if any of you have commented and I don't reply. I have noticed the fact that they only pop up once my video finishes, so please don't think that I'm ignoring you. It's just unfortunate that they don't all come through until afterwards, but hopefully we're there. So let's just raise this up, and so we're going to start off first of all by doing the gluing. So we don't really need to zoom in too much for that. Now, this is E6000. I'd say buy it from eBay. I haven't found a supplier for it yet. All of my suppliers, I do like to buy a lot of my stuff from the UK, and they don't tend to stock this. So you can either get it straight out of there or pop it on like an old laminated mat or something like that. So I'd use a cocktail stick and just take that up to the edge and then pop it in the center. Try not to squidge it around too much, because if you get too much excess around the side, you may find that it sort of covers over the area that you're going to bead. So that's literally all you do. Now, the reason why I'd suggest E6000, not E6000 plus. I'm sorry, but excuse me, I'm really not a lover of that for this project. It may be very good for other projects, but certainly not for bead embroidery. I find it really, really slippy. And your cabochons don't set that quick. So I am just going to cut myself some thread. Now, beading wax is a recommendation. There's some in the thread if you just look it up in the eyeglass wax, and it helps to stabilize your thread from actually coming undone, and it also helps to stop fraying as well. So I am going to start, I'm not actually sure whether this is a 10 or a 12 beading needle. Do you know, we spoke about this last week, didn't we? And you've just got to test it out. But size 10 beading needles, some of the 10 beading needles fit size 15 seed beads. Now, I should have done that and showed you. I'm just doing a triple knot, hold the end, hold the loop and pull like so. So we're going to zoom in, but before I do that, whoopsie, sorry, I'm dropping you all over the place. Let's get zoomed right in. Okay, so this is beading foundation. This is what we stitch it onto. This is one that I source myself that I actually prefer to use. It's nice and stiff, and I'm going to use size 10 seed beads. Now, if you've never done it before, don't strain your eyes. I'd recommend you do it in the daylight as well. Is bring your needle up from the bottom about 1 millimeter from the side of your cabochon. Now notice how quickly that's set. So your tail stops at the bottom there. Use the tip of your needle to thread your seed beads. You don't need to strain your eyes. I'm going to add 4 at a time. Now, to fit in with the peyote stitch that we're going to do. So if we look at last week's, we did peyote. So what the peyote does is it hugs round the bead, and you need to work an even number of beads. Now lay that around your cabochon and then take a nosedive down after the last one. Turn it over and back stitch into the previous stitch. Push your needle all through those 4. That's called reinforcing. Then we add another 4 and lay that round the side. Now, I apologise if some of it's a bit slow for you today. I'm going to do some of it in real time, and a little bit later on we'll refer to another piece that I've done. So we're going to back stitch through the previous hole again and push your needle through the 4 you've just added. Now I'm working with about 1 meter of thread. I'm working with Nymo, but there's lots of other threads. One of my favorites is Mayuki. I know a lot of people like to work with Fireline. I don't mind Fireline, but if you're doing a lot of beading, it's quite, I say it's not really expensive, but it's one of the more expensive if you're doing a lot. I rather like the KO, the Nymo's a great all-rounder. I like the KO, I like the Mayuki and the Sono. There's lots of different brands out there. And you might just want to try different ones to see what works for you. So lay that around take a nosedive down. But you see how quickly this all comes together. Now, if you've never worked with seed beads before, the higher the seed bead in numbers, the smaller the bead. So a size 15 is very small. I understand there's ones even smaller than a 15. Not quite sure how you'd actually go about using a needle and threading a needle for that, but I'm sure there's a way. Now, there might be a little bit of fudging that goes on along close to completing the circle. And what I mean by that is because you want even numbers so that your peyote stitch that you're doing on the next row works, you need to make an even number. Now, my eyeballing suggests that 4 will fit in there. Try not to overfill it either, because if you overfill it, you will get puckering and sort of, it just won't sit right. So I'm just going right up there. Oops. Back stitch again. Now on the last one, instead of just going around the 4, I'm going to reinforce all the way around. Now what that does is it helps to align all the beads nicely. It brings them all together, makes them a little bit tighter as well. If you lose where you are, then obviously what you can do is just turn it over and see where your tail was. Just a little bit more, we're there. Now, when you're doing your size 15 seed beads, those are your super tiny ones. I would not recommend necessarily reinforcing, because what might happen is you might run out of space. However, when we do the final row and we haven't got another row to add in, we will reinforce that one. So there we go, that's your first row. Now what we're going to do next is switch to our size 15 seed beads. Now all of these colours are in the yellow and green bundle. So we're going to add a seed bead. Now I apologise because it's not the best colour for showing you on camera here, but hopefully when it comes in you'll be able to see it. So you're going to miss one, so you're coming out this one here, miss that one and go through the next one. Now you've no need to pull it too tight at the moment, so miss that one and go through the next one. So this reminds me a little bit like a zip. Now obviously we did this last week for the earrings, but you know, it's good to recap. And if you're not feeling very confident and you're not ready to embrace this, you can skip this part because you've actually glued your cabochon. Your cabochon will not necessarily, well, it won't need beads around it. So if you're not really ready to embrace this, you can just skip along to the next bit where we do more circles around the base foundation. Now it was really nice to see Kevin, that was great. I.e. Alan in the group, it was great to see the earrings that you did. Now Kevin bought the baby blue and pink set, and that was brilliant, Kevin. You know, your first bit of bead embroidery and peyote. Now I'm not quite sure why I'm having a problem here, but bear with me. It's almost like there's a little bit of glue on there. Bear with me a second. I need to get up close, which is why I'm not on camera. Ah, it was a bit of glue. A little bit of glue. I hadn't let it set for long enough before I started stitching, but never mind, we got there. So we're going all the way around. Now, if you were doing a deeper stone, you could just do more rows of peyote so that you build it up a little bit more. Now, on the last one, you're just going to step up to the first bead that we just added in this row. Now, that looks a bit messy, but that's fine because it all becomes clear in the next one. So we're going to add a seed bead and go through the next one. So that's the one we added in the previous row, and you're going to pull it so that it sits on top of your cabochon. Now, your cabochon is just another word for a bead that has a flat bottom to it and doesn't have a hole in it. Add another bead. So this is really like a zip. Now, beading needles, again, you've got different brands with beading needles. Some beading needles, they're size 12 beading needles. I've been gluing my nails there. Some size 12 beading needles are too big, as I discovered with some brands. There we go. But as a general rule, they are suitable in size. There we go. So it's amazing how quickly this all comes together. There we go. Just two more left to do of this little bit. Now this kind of takes us up to the part where you could just leave this for an earring. If you struggle with your vision, then you know that's why I mentioned about doing it in the daylight. So last one, and this is a time when I'd reinforce with a 15 if there's enough space. And what that will do is just pull it all in for you. So we just go all the way around. Don't pull it so tight that it raises up the seed beads from your first row. Okay, so there we go. If you've got slight raising in these bits underneath, then what you can do is you can step down and do another row of reinforcing. Now I'm going to go down in between two of the beads and ready to make another row. So there you go. And really the next bit is all about sort of decoration. So let's just have a look at some samples. So on this one, there's your peyote. Then I've got a row of size 10, 15 and 10s. I've also done a brick stitch on that, which is like a form of edging. And I've got a tutorial online about that. So this is another one I did earlier with the pink cabochon. That's what I did at the start. Then I did a row of pink. Then to get that indentation, I did a row of 15s and finished off with a row of 10s. Now you can obviously make it bigger if you want to, or like with these as well. I've edged this one in 15s on the outside, so you know, the choice is yours. I'm going to do something else. I'm going to do another row in a yellow. But do pop a note in the comments and let me know how you're finding it. Also, if you have any top tips. Now this is obviously just the basic, and like with the peacock tails, you can always add tails like that to the bottom of your kit. Back stitch. Okay, reinforce. Let's just move those out of the way. A lot of the time it is picking colours as well, you know, that work for you. And you don't need, whilst we're working in groups of 4, other than the peyote stitch, you do not need to worry about odds and evens. Add another 4. And you can see how you're just building that up. Now in a second I'm going to go to another piece that I've done. Let's see how we go for time, because we are doing okay at the moment. Now I don't expect you to be this quick. I'm just really speeding ahead so that, you know, it's not too boring watching me just add on beads here. I have actually got some bead embroidery kits with tassels on them. I must pop those back up. You see how quickly that comes together? Lay it round, take a nosedive down, back stitch, oops. Now what you could always do is you could always add another 2 on the last one, just to save you a bit of time. Just be aware that sometimes you might get a little bit of sagging occurring in some instances where you add more than 4. Now we're going to reinforce, push your needle through groups of beads so that it goes all the way around. And you do exactly the same process if you're working with like the oval with the teardrops. Okie dokers. Right, so that is building up quite nicely. So if you've just joined me and you're a bit late joining, we've done the peyote in the centre. That was the first row we did, the silver row. Now if you find that any of it starts coming up, you can always do a little stitch over the top. Let me just show you what I mean. So say for example, you've got slight raising occurring. Bring your needle up and pop it across the thread that goes through the beads, and that just pulls it down. Now what I'd be inclined to do there is perhaps add a row of size 15s, but it's up to you. You know, you make it as small or as big as you want to. But the nice thing is with adding sort of the size 15s, which is the smaller beads, is it gives it a little bit more texture because they're quite short, they're small. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to switch over to another one in a moment, and we'll finish off on there, and I'll show you the gluing of the bail and the backing. Now you could get away with the size 15 seed beads with adding 6 at a time because they take up such little space. Okay, so you just keep building that up. Now here's one I prepared earlier. This is part of the baby blue and pink kit, so these colour are in that kit, and I've done similar combinations and I've just finished a row of 15s. So when you've finished a row, always take a nosedive down and make a clear cut with starting a new row. Now I am going to build in a little bit of baby pink so that I pull out the colour in the cabochon. And just see how that colour, adding this colour, makes your cabochon pop. But I always think if you're not sure on colours, you know, if you're walking around like your Marks and Spencers, your Monsoon, River Island, Peacocks, Next, have a look at the colour combinations that they've used. I mean, these guys are obviously fashion designers that have put these together, that have got great knowledge in colours. Have a look in your wardrobe, see what colour combinations are built into your wardrobe, and pick out some of those colour combinations in your bead embroidery. Or even look at some of the latest jewellery as well. I know obviously there's all the colour wheels as well that you can look at, but you can gain a lot of inspiration from what's out there on the high street. But see how that just pops. This is pink pearl, this is in the blue pink kit. What I might do next week is actually use the 6 cabochons, like the pink and the blue, and show you how to do the bracelet. So how many have got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I've got 5 on this one. So that would still leave you with 1 spare to make a pendant. So what you would do is you'd pre-make all of these and then you just join them all up. Gone back too far. Nearly finished. And then what I'm going to do is show you cutting out, gluing the back, gluing the bail. Last week's is now on YouTube as well, so you've got quick access on there. But we might have enough time next week to actually cover the ring as well, because obviously you know, it's just showing you how to join up the bracelet and to attach the findings. And then perhaps in the last week we'll look at some different shapes and how we add little frills on there as well, just how we do some variation on a theme. But I'd love to know how you found these. I know a lot of you in the thread already do bead embroidery, but perhaps people that are watching on YouTube may not have done any bead embroidery. So you need 5 on that one. Take a nose dive down, and right, so I'm not going to reinforce all the way around because I'm going to run out of thread, but you get the gist. So I would reinforce, and I'll just show you how to tie off at the back. There we are, look. And that pink just brings out the pink cabochon. So we're going to nose dive down to the back. In my wisdom, I've undone my thread, so bear with me. I might need to trim it a little bit. There we go. Okay, so it's really important that you tie off. So what I do is go under one of these ladders or thread bars and pick up a tiny bit of the foundation, and then repeat that again, but this time tie a knot in there. Well, that worked. It's because I haven't got much thread left. Let's just slacken that off a bit so that I can show you a little bit better. So do it in another place, a bit further along, but not too much further along. Go around and form a knot. I tend to just pop it under a thread a bit further along and then trim off. Now this is how I finish off. You will find other people suggest different things. I suggest this way because I think it's so easy to cut into your threads. So I would suggest using some sort of nail scissors or the bead embroidery scissors. I've still got a couple of pairs left actually with the foundation and backing, little kits. I will put those online. So trim as close as you can, but without trimming into the stitch. Now turn it over and do a little check and then tidy up. So can you see I'm getting really close in? Now what I'd recommend, you don't need it for this one because of the colour, but it's a good idea to have some Sharpie pens so that if you've got a particularly bright outer layer, you can actually colour it in. Now I will demonstrate on this one, bear with me, because I haven't actually got my pens with me. In my wisdom, there we go, there's a silver Sharpie pen so I can show you. It's a really good investment to actually even get some of the metallic Sharpie pens. Don't test it on your piece, test it on your bit of extra foundation and see what it's like. If you're satisfied with that, then what I would do is just gently colour that in. Try not to colour in your seed beads. It really makes such a big difference. And before my pieces go on screen at the craft store, I always make sure that I use that method because it makes a big difference. Perhaps not with the colours so much that I've used. So there we go. Now the last little bit is actually gluing some backing on there. Now I'm just going to switch to a different colour. Now I really could do with the gold to go with that one. Now in my wisdom, I've got the wrong colour. Right. Found it. And I will make sure that I put the right colour in with your kits as well. So you don't really need a great deal. So that's like a light metallic colour. So again, your E6000, let's zoom out a little bit. Top tip, don't put your wet cocktail stick onto a towel, a paper towel. I am not the best person to be doing this, I have to confess. I'm very good at gluing my own hair. Luckily this doesn't act like super glue, so it won't glue your fingers. That's another bonus of the E6000. Now go right up to the edge. Now I know a couple of the ladies in the group sell Body Shop stuff, and I would thoroughly recommend their chamomile cleansing lotion because it gets the E6000 off your fingers. Right, so I've covered the back and I tend to do it in the corner, so because that little bit there, you could use that for a ring. You know, try and, I can talk the talk but not walk the walk. I have to say that. It's all right when I'm on camera, but I can't wholeheartedly say I do that all the time. Right, so we just need to keep that there. Now I would leave that for a wee bit longer. However, what you want to do is once it's dry, sort of give it 10 minutes, is you can cut this one from the front. And then you want your glue on bail. Honestly, I had my glue on bail earlier. I thought I got everything out. Yes, I had. There we go. So these are like little spoons. They remind me of little spoons. And what you do is you pop your, get this everywhere, you pop this E6000 on that spoon area, and what I'd recommend is have something like a plastic bag or something that you don't mark your mat. Lay it flat and then push it down like so. And then you would have your chain. So your chain would go straight through there, and then you'd pop your findings on there as well. Now, I'm not going to show you how to pop the chain findings on, but if there's anybody, get glue everywhere, if anybody would like to know how to do that, then just pop me a note in the comments. So again, I leave it for about 10 minutes. So I'm going to zoom out now and find out how you found that. If you've got any questions. Look at me with my old woman glasses hanging off. Oh, Sharon said, I know we're not fans, are we, Sharon, of the E6000 Plus. Her cab fell off halfway round her first round. I know, it's just like an oil slick, isn't it, with E6000 Plus. So it's just the E6000 that you want, no plus. And I think, what's that? 110 millilitres, but you can buy the small ones. Oh, that's excellent, Kevin. He found the earrings he made really good to do. It's really relaxing, isn't it? And it's amazing how little you need to do the project. I'm trying to get I need some of that cleansing stuff on my hands. Christina, hello Christina, lovely to have you. And I owe you a reply to your message. I am sorry. It's lovely to have you join and glad you like that. Oh, you remember a day classes making these? Oh, brilliant. Love those scissors. I know, I was trying to order some for people, but they're out of stock. So I'm waiting for those to be restocked. Are the offcuts of beading foundation useful? Yes, absolutely. Even the tiny little bits, because you only need a small amount. That might be too small, but keep them in a box, and you can use them either for your earrings or for your rings. So Kevin says, I see there looks to be two sides to the backing. Does it make a difference which side you glue? There isn't a difference to the beading foundation. Both sides are the same. Obviously with the backing, you want the colour on the outside, so you want to glue on the inside so that your backing is showing on the outside. Oh, what a great idea, Carol. So Carol gets some inspiration from bunches of flowers in the shops too. Absolutely. And you know what, children are amazing because they don't have the same preconceived ideas about what colours fit, and they're a bit like, have it, that's the colours I want and that's the colours that I am using. And often kids that I've taught at Marlborough College have got this amazing ability of no fear. So take heed, grandchildren, children, they're very good with their colours. Oh, Gorilla Glue is good for sticking backing on, but it sticks like super glue. Oh, do you need your chisel out for it? Hello, Ems. My Ems is watching. Oh, I'm glad you enjoyed, Dot. Thank you. Jay says, very pretty. Oh, it was just lovely that you could join, Christina. I'm glad you enjoyed it. Hi, Annette. Glad you enjoyed that. Janet, glad you enjoyed it too. Kevin said, my backing one side smooth, one side is rough. That might be because I iron it to get it flat. That may be why. But the white one, if you've bought it from me, they should be the same on both sides. I'm not sure if it's from elsewhere. I presume that you can use either side. Before you go, this week's giveaway. Thank you, by the way, to everybody that bought items last week and took advantage of the free P&P and got your free gifts. I will be doing something again very soon. So with your giveaway, whoever wins the giveaway, do make sure you give a thumbs up and pop me a note in the comments so I know you were present. You got it from me. Right. If you got it from me, I'm not quite sure why one side's smooth and the other side's rough. If I'm honest, mine doesn't feel any different. So perhaps we can you can let me know about that. Right, so what we have is 3 pink cabochons, enough to make a matching pair of earrings and either a ring or a pendant, and you've got earring backs and one of the spoons, the bales. Then you've got silver seed beads, you've got size 15 grey beads and pink pearl, needle, which should cover the 15s as well, the gold sort of bronzy backing, and the thread. So all you need to do to enter that is just pop a note in the comments and give me a thumbs up. Hope you enjoyed it, but don't forget, Beaders of Beads by Verchiel, do keep posting and giving each other encouragement and support in there. I hop on there as often as I can. It's been a bit less of late because I had a real influx of orders over the weekend, and I don't like people's orders not going out on the day, but I just didn't have the man hours to do that, but they still went out quite quickly. Anyway, take care, and I will see you on Sunday, if not before. Thanks now.